Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And hello and welcome back. And good to see you again. And happy good mornings. And whee! It is Thursday. I have been away from Love Mornings for a week. And I miss you. I miss this. I did not practice during the break, and it was not good for me. There's lots of good things that did happen, lots of wonderfulness, but I really missed the consistency. I missed the practice. I missed the community. I was away at the Renegade Burn, so I will be speaking to that over time as it makes sense and as the thoughts come. But it was really, I'll say that basically the core of it was way more than I thought it was going to be. So I'm still trying to sort through what it means to me, what it means to the community, what it means to the future of Black Rock City. And, I'll try to, and my opinions on that are changing day by day as I read other people's reflections and other things, occur to me. And so I'll share a few basic recollections today about my time in Black Rock Desert, as well as spend some time with you connecting in this moment and reminding one another that we are the people in our neighborhood, whether that neighborhood is in the middle of the desert or through the digital world or our neighborhoods, whatever it is, that we are surrounded by beautiful people, and it takes a little bit of a reminder to generate this vibe of connection and love, and then to bring that into the world. And so with that, I say good morning to you, Tara. Good morning. I love you. Thank you for welcoming me back. I already feel so much better just in this moment with you. And, Rock's still in Reno. Rock, do I pronounce your name wrong? Someone told me that they said your name and I thought maybe I'm saying it wrong. And I apologize if that's true, but names are not my strong point. I do know you, and I remember you, and I remember our conversations that I'm looking forward to deeper unraveling and unfolding and diving into what we spoke to. But know that I do love you, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate all your efforts towards the city and the community of Burning Man, as well as your articulate desires to grow and to solve and fix the things that are not working. So bravo to you. Thank you. I love you. Hello, Beth. Good morning to you. I love you. Feeling your love's vibes from Dance Festopia in Kansas. How cool. Lori from Kentucky. Yes. What a treat to have a brief conversation with you. Yay. That was wonderful. And so wonderful to be reminded of our love mornings and to know that you're out there and you are a huggable, beautiful being as well as an energy in these love mornings. So thank you. I love you. Hello, David. Hello, neighbor. Yeah, that was so great to camp near you. What a treat. What a treat that was. It was, just a couple just brief reflections. Like, I didn't think there was going to be a temple. Or if I thought there would be a temple, I thought it just would like put up like a milk crate and say, this is the temple, or, write messages here. And the temple, I think, was a really good example of what surprised me about the gathering. The temple was gorgeous. They have restrictions, we were not allowed to build structures. We were not allowed to build art. And so the temple was a massive shade structure with these beautiful shades that Kelsey does. I can't remember the name of the company, but these beautiful colored shades and this beautiful pattern. And then there was altar stuff and places to sit and write and people, and it became every bit as powerful a temple experience for me as I've had in the past. 3 times I visited, and 3 times I was bawling, crying. And then on burn night, they got permission to have these like cauldrons where they took apart the pieces of the altar and they burnt them in these cauldrons. So it wasn't like a massive fire, but they had these multiple like fire pits that they burnt the temple pieces in. And that night of the burn, of the temple burn, I was overwhelmed with emotion. I was wailing and crying in such a beautiful way, in the same way that I often feel at the Burning Man Temple. It was so therapeutic and so like cathartic, and I so needed. I mean, there was so much loss this year that I feel like I did not release. Especially, I think, and I'm not to get too personal, but when do I not? I was asked to lead a memorial, which I was so honored to do. But I think part of I felt in the process of taking on that role, I really kept keep it together, and I didn't fully grieve. I didn't fully feel. So I didn't cry at the memorial. I don't think I cried leading up to memorial. I was sad, but didn't really like let it take me. And the temple experience let me really go and release, and as always, so powerfully grateful for that temple experience. And that was, that was above and beyond what I expected out there. I thought it was going to be a camping trip with a bunch of burners, and it was much closer to a Burning Man experience. I think, it more like a regional, the Gerlach regional, with so much of the culture present, way more participation and adherence to 10 principles than I expected. Good morning to you, Christina. I love you. Thank you for welcoming me back. Good morning, Shauna. I love you. 2016 hugging together at Pink Heart. Well, I hope we get to hug again soon. I love you. Rosh, of course it is. Thank you, brother. Tom, good to see you. I love you. Welcome back to me. I'm sorry. I'm still a little tired. I love you, Tom. And Jordy, yeah, it was great to see you. That was the first thing I noticed is how many people I got to see. I thought there would be people. I was fearful, concerned that it would just be like, lots of isolated camping, and occasionally you'd ride your bike around and try to find people and say hello to fellow strangers. And I felt like it was a family reunion, and I saw so many people that I knew and loved, and it was great to see you, Jordy. I love you. Andy! Good morning to you. Yeah, the Pink Ride was fantastic. A lot of people showed up. I mean, I had low expectations because I didn't crazy promote it. I didn't know what it was going to be like. There's going to be a digital one at the same time, but I just kind of felt like, just like with Love Mornings, I feel like I just showing up. A big part of my spiritual practice is showing up and trying to be consistent, and so gonna do the Pink Ride for the 15th year, and a lot of incredible people showed up, and the vibe was great, and I just so enjoyed it. So thank you all for everyone who participated and supported and made it magic. I'll try to share more from that soon. Yeah, bummed I missed you, Wade. I feel like I missed a lot of people. There was more people and more camps, and I was honestly I was a little. I never got my technology really working. I was able to get my apps set up, so I had one pin. I knew how to get back to my camp, and I knew how to get to kind of the Esplanade area, but I did not know how to find other camps. So I did not do a lot of exploring, and I was a little intimidated about getting too far out of my comfort zone in terms of street names, and with no street names and no real, my sense of direction is not ideal. So I did not explore enough, and I did not see a lot of people, but I hope you had a beautiful time. Hello, Painey. Good morning. I love you. Happy day to you. Happy Thursday. Thank you, Hippolito. Good morning. I love you. And hello, Adrian. Yeah, it's good to see you. It was so many nice connections and shared moments of community and appreciation and just heart connection. I mean, there was a lot of the interactions that we cultivate and try to make a part of this Love Morning. The reason for Love Mornings is to be reminded that the world is filled with people like you and I and us and those of us that are here and the people that are out there on the playa, whether they are, or the people that are just like those people. Just like one of the cool things about this year's Renegade Burn is that I felt like at least half the people there was their first time. There was a huge number of people who have always had this craving without really knowing this calling to be to be more like this, to be a good morning, welcome home kind of vibe. And they need an invitation. That's that welcome home feeling. And that's what we're trying to remind each other here, is that there are, we can be that invitation. We can be that permission slip as we go through the world and say, good morning, hello, hi, welcome home. That we can be the forces that crack the shells of people so that they can then continue on that vibration and share and spread those good vibe ripples in the world. So thank you for being that for me and for everyone. Patrick, how do you deal with the guilt of doing Renegade Burn during a pandemic? That would be a question for someone who felt guilt. I did not feel guilt for doing a pandemic. Let me address that because it's a ridiculous. Well, it addresses a huge part of my philosophy. I have been doing gratitude circles every day, twice a day, for the last year and a half, all through the pandemic. I did a gratitude circle twice a day while the streets were burning, while people were protesting George Floyd. I did gratitude circles on the days that I heard my friends dying. I did gratitude circles while friends were going to the hospital. We did a gratitude circle while I was in a gratitude circle while a fellow member of the gratitude circle, while his wife died in the next room. You do not sacrifice joy because there is pain and suffering in the world. That is not how the human experience is intended to be lived. If you wait until all suffering is over before you feel joy, you have missed the point of this life. So I do not feel guilt. Do I feel I was irresponsible with regards to spreading or irresponsible with my activities? I do not. I believe that, outdoor socializing, especially with wearing masks, is a pretty low risk behavior. And I feel like, as I am now isolating and will be getting myself tested before I socialize with anyone who did not choose to take the risk of a gathering, outdoor gathering, that I feel like I'm pretty responsible with my behavior and my activities. So I don't feel guilt. If guilt is what kept you from doing that activity and you are at peace, fantastic. We all need to choose the decisions that put us at peace. As a fully vaccinated person who I believe is making choices and decisions fully in line with those recommended by scientific experts, I am feeling pretty okay about my decisions and my risk profile. Is it a zero risk profile? No. As the whole experience of Burning Man is one where you accept a certain amount of risks in the exploration and attempt to live a fully intense and life worth living. Ideally, minimizing risk to yourself and others, but not eliminating it. And I at this stage of my understanding, I am free from guilt in that regard. Sorry if that came across heated. And Patrick, in case I forgot to say it, I love you. Thank you for the food for thought. Good morning, Jackie. Hello to you in South Carolina. I love you. Good morning, Sharon. I love you too. Good to see you. Happy Love Morning. If you are joining us for a first time or just back, this is a daily morning practice, every day 9 o'clock Pacific time. Took the last week off as I was in Nevada, exploring the Renegade Burn, the Plan B, the camp out in the Black Rock Desert, attended by burners, that was an impressive showing of what we have been practicing and training for decades. Hello, Alex. It was so good to see you. Yes. It will be an unpacking and de-dusting world for the next while and a half. We pulled in last night about midnight. The Hugmobile is parked on the street. I got to get it moved and unpacked as soon as possible. At least I got to get out of this neighborhood and then back into storage and decide what we're going to do with the Hugmobile. This we decided was the last year the Hugmobile would make it to the playa. It behaved incredibly. In fact, because there was no rules and no Department of Mutant Vehicles, the Hugmobile got to be an art car. And Becca drove it around. We drove it to Temple night. We drove it on Burn night out to the Man area. And so the Hugmobile got to really cruise around Playa and experience Black Rock Desert like it never has before. It kind of felt like, sometimes we'll take like a dying person in a wheelchair and roll them out to the ocean so they can experience that one last time. That's kind of how it was, rolling the Hugmobile around. But she was great. She behaved incredibly mechanically. So this is bravo Hugmobile. Hello to you, Christina and Billy in Arkansas. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Etoile, hello. Good to see you. I love you. Wonderful to see you again. Hello, Silver. I love you. Good morning. Stella saying, finding your way back to camp is all part of the experience. Yes, that is very true. I probably should have embraced that more and enjoyed that process more. I definitely was like, okay, and then some of it too is, that's a good point. Thank you for that reminder. And good morning, Stella. I love you. Lori's saying that What 3 World, the app, helped a bit, but still a fun challenge. Not my What 3 Words. I never had that one working. I did have the Gaia Trails app but all I had was the city overlay and my SIP. I could not get it no matter what I do. I couldn't get other people's map places to work or the location. So, but you know what? I had plenty of friends. Most people that I was hanging out with, they didn't have any apps working. So we were doing it old school, just using our landmarks, and people did a great job of making beacons and light things. My friend Steven helped me make a beacon for our camp. We also, our campmates had a big, tall tower thing that they built, and Kiwi camped with us, and he had a very tall blinking light. So it was definitely, people were smart. We've learned things over the years, and people put them into practice. Normarai is thankful for Coolvetica, font of all fonts. This is Coolvetica, folks. Dun dun. I love you too, Normarai. I'm a little bit behind on the comments, so my apologies. If you're here and I have not said hello yet, I love you, and my apologies for not getting to you, but I will. Holly, glad to have ran into you out by the Manticore. Yes, hello. Wait, what was Manticore? How quickly I said yes and then wait, what was that? Crystal, good morning. I love you. Yes, life is all a balance of risk versus reward. So much of the human experience is finding the path that works for you. And you can always find people who are on different sides of the spectrum, Like I think about, it's, and the process of your growth and your spiritual growth is kind of recalibrating, Am I at a place now where the sacrifices I'm making are worth it? Am I at a place now where, should I be meditating 8 hours a day and eating one bowl of rice? Or will my life be more fulfilled and joyful, and will my human experience be more rich if I occasionally indulge and maybe eat something, eat a cookie? And it's up to each of us to find the path that is the one that allows us to experience our life as richly as possible. And that could be a total martyr sacrifice life. It's not my understanding and what I believe to be the reason we're here, but no judgment. Good morning, Sandra. It was so good to see you and connect with you. I'm glad you were back home. I love you. Steven's here. Oh, Stephen, you were with me every day. So I'm so glad that we got to connect a little bit before we left. Cool to see that you got the live stream. Strike was amazing this year because we had so little to break down. Just got to take down one shade structure and take down the beacon. And pack up the Hugmobile. I missed you, Stephen. I love you. I hate to contribute to the FOMO, but it was awesome. It was really awesome out there. The things that I was afraid of were not there. The things. I was highly motivated to be there because I wanted to avoid my fear of missing out. There's so much shoulds, like I should go. I'm going to be angry if I don't. And I'm glad that while that's not the healthiest of voices, I'm really glad that it pushed me because I'm very grateful that I got to be a part of that and experience it. It was, I think, a historic thing. I kept thinking about, like, what if I was as scared 23 years ago when I first heard of Burning Man, if I let the fear keep me from it then, my life would be so different. And the process of going through this, I did get to realize that I was more courageous as a younger man. And thank God that I said yes to so many things. And perhaps I need to rekindle that courage, as I go into my second set of 50 years. Good morning, Jackie. Burning Man is it is a strange, foreign. It's like another planet with different rules, but also it's our planet. Is if things were different. Oh, I kind of like that. Hello, Justin. Good morning. I love you. Stefan. Oh man, you were on the virtual pink ride? Oh, that is so cool. Oh, I can't wait to see, hear some words and see if there's any pictures or footage from the virtual ones. It was so cool to know that there was participants around the world in the pink ride as we did it in Black Rock. I missed you at GSR. It was GSR was lame this year. I usually love the afterburn experience at the Grand Sierra Resort because it's filled with burners, and this year it was just a trickle of burners, and the hotel was filled with people either vacationing or people that had been transplanted because of the fires, and masks were required indoors in Reno, so there was none of the walking around and socializing, as there shouldn't have been. But I realized how much I missed that. I love after the burn when there's no more responsibility. I have no more work I need to do. Don't get me wrong, best job in the world. I love working at Burning Man. In fact, this year was a clear reminder to me how much I love hosting a camp. I love working at Burning Man. But I also love after the burn going to Grand Sierra and just socializing and meeting people and hearing their reflections. And because there was so little opportunity to do that, you could only socialize at the pool without masks on. And honestly, I felt like indoors in a casino felt really irresponsible and did not feel comfortable during the pandemic, to go back to the guilt question of earlier. But socializing at the pool felt okay outdoors. But there was just a trickle of that, and I missed that. So hopefully we can return to that someday. Nicole, hello, and love and hugs to you. So glad that you pushed through and drove out, and we got to share some playa adventures. It was great to camp with you. There were so many things that were wild. Like the last night, the temple burn night, most of our camp was gone. And we went off and had some dancing adventures, and then we came back. And when we came back, the one person who was still there, Kiwi, he had his sound system, and like a friend's JJ came with his like doom buggy thing, and they had sound that had this booming party, and we had stumbled in ready to go to bed. And we're like, oh no, we got to sleep next to this raging party. I'm like, oh no, we could just drive. So we just drove, 150 yards away into the nothingness and just slept there because renegade. Good morning, Sherilyn. I love you. Good morning, good morning. And good morning, Danny. I love you. Good morning. By the way, when I say good morning, I'm sending love from the morning in San Diego, to be received wherever you are, whenever you are. So if you're watching this archive, you can be receiving it then. You could be one of our dear friends in Malaysia that is receiving this tomorrow at midnight, or around the world in Barcelona, or I think Painy is in France. And whatever time it is for you, that is when we are experiencing love. It's a starting in love morning, hitting you whenever. If you're just joining us, I returned from the Black Rock Desert last night. Well, Black Rock Desert, then to Reno for a couple nights, and now back in San Diego, putting together the pieces of a very unique camping experience. More than a camping experience, definitely a Burning Man experience. Was it Black Rock City? No. Was it Burning Man traditional? No. Was it much like a regional? Was it way more than a camping trip? Yes. And it really, I think, proved that we have learned. We remembered our training, and we did good. Brooke! Yes! Oh, what a treat to share so many beautiful hugs. Thank you for having a moment. I love you. Van J was there. Well, hello, hello. Good to see you again. I love you. Carolyn saying it was the perfect burn. She was at Unicorn Camp at 9 in Esplanade. Oh, so we were close. We were about 9 in D, if there was such a thing. Oh, sorry we missed you. Carolyn saying that Robot Heart was the best. So Robot Heart, was there, and which, I mean, that itself made it like, oh, this is, a lot of burn experience just in a Robot Heart sunrise. I only had one sunrise with them, and actually I slept and then woke up in the morning and went out to enjoy the sunrise. And I had a beautiful time, and it felt there was something really incredible about the restrictions of this experience. Made it so that it eliminated plug and play. Now, if you're familiar, plug and play is when people pay an exorbitant amount of money and have an organizer create a curated, basically, Burning Man experience. They show up, their tent or their RV is already set up for them. Sometimes they even have like outfits ready for them. Some of these very rich, expensive camps, spending $10,000, $20,000 for a curated camp experience, plug and play. You show up. Sometimes they even have, I've heard, models and escorts as part of the camp. Some of these put together by, billionaire Russians and things like that. And so, but when you got to poop in a bucket, I think it really kept away the plug and play crowd. I'm not sure if maybe there was plug and play camps set up there, but I did not see any, and I didn't experience any sort of that vibe of people. No sparkle pony. If you were there, had to take care of yourself. You had to be radically self-reliant in a way that has not been required for the last few years. Not saying that you weren't or many people weren't, but as Burning Man has evolved, people have found more and more ways to make it convenient. And this year was not convenient. And I think that was good for a reset. And I think it made Robot Heart more fun, because I enjoy looking at beautiful foreign models in expensive, sparkly outfits. It is a beautiful sight, but it also sometimes feels like they are in a different world, having a different burn than me, when I know that they are being, not know, but I you know what? I won't make assumptions. I know that I have examples, but I won't make the assumptions. Sorry, I apologize for that. Good morning, Jason. I love you. What is up is I am reflecting on a Burning Man experience. Just got back from a wild renegade burn. Massive appreciation to the Plan B folks and to Wade and those who created the map. The Plan B organizing and the other groups that were organizing, whether it was in Reddit or Facebook, it established a infrastructure with a city plan and an education system that really, I think, allowed for this to be without central organization. These organizing systems, these Facebook groups and online groups, allowed for education and organizing, so that a city was just constructed, so that there was education about what was needed and what you had to bring, and what do and do nots and 10 principles, so that even without a central mommy, daddy, kings and queens enforcement authority, that there was a combination of enough built up wisdom and education within participants and longtime burners, and enough education happening through online and in person, that it worked. Yeah. Hello, Paul. Hello to you in Nokomias. Hello to you in Florida. I love you. Hey, Aaron. Hello, hello. I love you. Oh, look at this. I'm like 10 minutes behind in comments. So my apologies if you are here and I have not said hello to you, or I will try to catch up. But I'm going to take my time because I am feeling dusty and present and filled with love. I love you, Aaron. And Lori. Oh, at the Grand Sierra, how few burners there were. Yeah, that was, yeah, it is what it was. Disappointing, I guess. But, and I guess it was disappointing just because I had expectations. There you go. Expectations kill the joy. I should learn better. Hello, Faith. Good to see you again. Yay. Hello to you in Florida. Sending you love. Welcome back to Love Mornings. If you are here, I do this daily, every day at 9 o'clock a.m. At least I have been for the last 6 months. I took the last week off as I was offline. But we are back, and I think if today is any indication, yes, we are back. I am feeling the love, feeling rejuvenated. Actually, I feel like this gathering has rekindled a lot of the love that I felt in the Black Rock Desert. Honestly, the last few days after the temple burn night, the traveling and being in Reno, I was not in the best headspace. I've been a little, maybe the decompression hit me early. Normally I have so much joy in Reno, and snapping back into the realities of the pandemic, and wildfires, and it was an abrupt decompression, and so I'm really happy and appreciative to have this moment with you, to remember the beauty and remember the connections, and remember that all it takes is the reminder that you and us and we are all out there, and we can keep our hearts open, and we can continue to be that change. We can continue to be the permission slip. And yes, it's way easier when you're face to face in the desert and you can say, welcome home, and give a hug. But we can share that same energy and be that same missionary, ambassador of connection and love every day with every interaction. So that is what I am challenging myself and you to do as we go out into the world. And every day. And every day we can come here and have that reminder and fill ourselves back up so we can go back out into the world and say, hello, good morning. Louis! Hello, good morning to you. I love you. Ross asking, will I be making Who's Crying Now Bitches stickers? I had great, nobody gave me a hard time this year while I was there. If you don't know the story, last year I very publicly said we should not be going out to the Black Rock Desert. So because of that, I became a little bit of a figurehead of the voices saying don't go, and sometimes playfully, sometimes cruelly, people were knocking me down, and including one sticker with a picture of me crying that was triggering for me. Leading up to this, there were some people online that did give me shit, and but of those, like Angelo, who's somebody who I had a dialogue with last year. We had a dialogue this year. We actually connected on Playa and had a really beautiful conversation. I got no grief while I was there, and so, and in fact, I'm actually I'm more sympathetic to those who are critical of me last year, as I now experienced, and I talked to people who told me their experiences last year, and I got to compare it to what I was experiencing out there, and I go, oh, like, I clearly was being overly cautious. Now, do I still believe that I said the right thing last year, and by encouraging people not to go, did the right thing by making sure that those who went were the ones who went in spite of people's advice? Yes, I still feel like that was the right thing to do, but I have no ill will or fault to those who did go, because as I saw this time, I saw proof that a responsible group of people can have a gathering, even in the conditions that we are living in. So I will not be poking the bear. I will not be starting shit. If anything, I might be doing some extended apologies and recognition to those who are critical of me. Hello, Moira. I love you. Good to see you. And Isaac, good to see you. Oh, I love you. Hello, Corey. I love you. Yeah, I can only imagine what the FOMO is like if you didn't go. And I understand. I mean, I had so many voices leading up to last week telling me, don't go. It's going to be a shit show. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be this. And so if I didn't have such a history with Burning Man and I feel like I totally understand all the reasons why not to go. And at the same time, I'm so glad I went, and I'm curious to see what will happen in future years. That's probably a conversation for another day. Lewis asking, so were there more hardcore burners and creators, or more people with too much time and money and just party consumption? Great question. I think the biggest shift was there was a huge number of people there who did not have the resources. There was a ton of people who could never afford Burning Man. But local folks, for example, you could drive out for a night for nothing and experience Burning Man. So I think there's a huge number of people where resources was a barrier. And so this was truly a radically inclusive burn, or getting tickets. It's very difficult to get a ticket to Burning Man, but this year, anybody that wanted to go could go. And I think that was significant. There were also many hardcore burners there. A lot of people put in a lot of resources to create things. I will say, in terms of the party and consumption, there was the BLM put a lot of restrictions on what we could do there, so it really hampered the ability to create art. So it was the contributions, the gifts that people gave tended to be in the food, party, dance realm. Some activities and some workshops and the Pink Ride, but much less than normally we'd see in Black Rock City, which is one reason why I'm calling this a Girl Lock Regional rather than Black Rock City. This did not remind me of Black Rock City, but it did remind me of a Burning Man regional experience. Alex saying that there was a plug and play. Interesting. Thank you, Gabriel. This shirt is actually available in my store. I have a t-shirt store at lovemorefearless.com. Carolyn's saying that there was a huge number of foreign people. Yeah, I think there was a lot of people from other countries and a lot of local people, was my experience. Stefan saying Renegade Burn may be the first successful anarchist city. It felt historic. Now, it's also like it did not exist in a vacuum, you know? So many people there have been practicing and learning how to run a 10 principles organization, city organization for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years. This anarchist city was dramatically different than what I'm told was the anarchist city that was Burning Man in, say, 95. Because we've learned and we have so much experience. So it's the same conditions of 95 with much more experiences and wisdom and practices and the ability to use the internet to self-organize. So very few people went out there. Well, I take that back. A lot of people did go out there blind and had to be educated as they went. But most people, I think, showed up with some awareness of, like, you need a poop bucket. This is the way the city is set up. Those kind of things. I did have a guy show up. He drove up his, like, Honda Civic right next to our place, set up a 2-man tent next to us, and I see him, like, sleeping in his car all day with the AC on. He wanders out of his car, you know, as the sun's going down on Temple night, saying, "Hey, can I use your bathroom?" I'm like, "Well, I don't have a bathroom. Like, the toilet has been removed from this Hugmobile. I've got a bag if you want to borrow a trash bag, you know." And he was supposed to meet friends. He couldn't find his friends, and he didn't know dick. He didn't know anything. He didn't know. He was totally clueless. And unfortunately, I kept trying to help him, and I think he was so nervous that he just kept trying to act cool, and he wasn't being receptive to. I'm like, look, I'm like, you happen to be parked next to somebody that knows a lot about this stuff, and I'm happy to educate what I can. And he just kept, like, you know, some people just, like, don't let go of control. Anyway, Jamie, hello, I love you. Yay, good to see you. I am eager to hear how your virtual burn week went. I did meet Mingle. I saw Mingle several times over in the desert. It was great. Hello, Victoria. I love you. House. Good to see you. I love you. How was it? It was way better than I expected it was going to be. I was very impressed with people. I was very proud of the way burners behaved. I thought that there was going to be this huge number of kind of local desert rat yahoos, and I didn't see any of that. I thought that because there was not a social contract and there wasn't a gate, that people would be flippant with the 10 principles. I did not see that. I thought people were there very much was a vibe that if you're there, you are responsible for the 10 principles. And I was fearful that there would be much more of a fuck you. You can't tell me what to do. There's no rules here. And I didn't see that at all. At all. I mean, maybe a reminder of like there was some reminder like, hey, you can do what you want here and you can camp wherever you want, but not like a fuck you, which I was warned that would be a part of it. From people that were there last year, that there might be a contingency of people that was anarchist to the point of shit stirring, and that was not my experience. We did it, says Victoria. Good morning, Carla. Yay, good to see you. I love you. I saw your Pink Camp Hawaii picture. Jennifer, as someone who is, I don't know if I'm going to spend energy addressing your question. I don't know if you saw me speak earlier about this. So a bunch of people decided to have an outdoor social event, wearing masks. Time will tell. Like, I think that, if we find that this was an irresponsible event, then you're welcome to have your anger. I think that you want to be, I'm glad that as an immunocompromised person that you can choose not to go. And I'm glad that we have ways to find the path of responsibility that I think is. I'm not going to address that. I spoke about that earlier, and I'm okay if you're disgusted by me. Jet saying Renegade exceeded my expectations. Me too. Yeah, me too. Reginald is here. It was so good to see you. I ended up camping 100 feet from San Diegans and Pink Hearters that each doing their own thing. And then Kiwi, who was not planning on camping me, found me immediately, and he camped with me. So my camping experience was far more communal than I even expected to. I camped with an incredible group of people. We were a Triple X Christmas camp. Got to know a bunch of people, which was a beautiful experience as well. Joshua, good morning. I love you. Good to see you. Panos asking, did I have any negative encounter with I tried to hug people? Good question. No. I felt like there was a very, an established protocol where if you put your hands out, then people would greet you and hug. And I'm of the mind that a hug is a fairly incredibly low risk activity. Talking to someone on a dance floor with your heads close together, breathing, that's a risky behavior. But hugging, where you are breathing on someone's back for 1 or 2 or 3 breaths, I don't have that in my high risk behavior risk category. And I think that people were very, there was plenty of opportunities to guide your own experience to, and plus you could be wearing a mask. I mean, there were people that you could be wearing a legit, respirator, and have the whatever experience you want. But no, I did not feel. I felt like hugging was handled pretty open. Most people were hugging, especially the people that I greeted. I don't know if that's typical of just the people that I connect with, but it felt like hugging was pretty well widespread. And hello, Panos. I love you. Good to see you this morning. This is Love Morning, by the way, and although this is a very Burning Man themed Love Morning, and will probably continue to be Burning Man themed for the next few days, I do this every day at 9 a.m. Wow, we've been going for an hour, but it is an opportunity to remind one another of the people in our neighborhood and to hopefully remember that out there in the world is people like you and me and those of us here. And so to try to fight the temptation or the pressure to put our heads down and stick to ourselves and instead try to say hello and good morning and open up those connections and give people permission to be open-hearted and loving. And then as you sometimes give them permission to crack open a little bit, then they spread that in the world. And if nothing else, we can live in purpose. We can be ambassadors of love and open-heartedness and connection just by being kind in our daily interactions. But sometimes it takes a reminder, which is why we are here. So thank you for being that, for me and for all of us. As far as like pooping in buckets, I will say that was a far less deal than I ever imagined. In fact, I heard many people say that it was a game changer, and in the future they're going to bring their own buckets. Like having, especially the what we use these bags that are made for this, where it's got a trash bag in the middle and it's connected to a Ziploc. So you put the bag over your bucket, and then I bought like a $20 toilet seat for the top of the bucket. Used the bucket, you can use it multiple times, put kitty litter in there and use it multiple times, or you could just use the bag once and then you seal it inside the Ziploc. And now I took that, put that in another bucket, boom. It was easy peasy and cleaner than going to most porta potties. So that ended up being a non-issue for me, and I think for most people I talk to. Jet saying that many burners I know were behaving more like a replacement org than anarchists. Well, that's an interesting question, maybe for a deeper one of like, what does anarchists mean? Does anarchy can mean total chaos, and it can also mean how people organize without central leadership. I'm no scholar on anarchy, but I think it really, if you are a philosophical anarchist, I think you believe that system can work. But yeah, who knows? You're right. I think that there a lot of people did step into enforcement, and that's one of the ways that our community has always worked is through self-policing, and sometimes that is done beautifully, lovingly, and sometimes it is done with shame, and hopefully we can get better and better at that. Hard to hear, hard to know. Stephen saying, I'm so glad to hear that people acted with a heart towards the beloved community that we can be. Yeah, that was my experience. Good morning, Ingrid. Hello to you in Palm Springs. I love you. Yeah, good to see you. And yes, I think it was a mad success. We'll find out more as the weeks go on. There's a few things that we could hear about that I think could change the tone. From the things I've seen online, there's quite a few people that took it on themselves to be like restoration, that are dealing with the trash that was abandoned. Clearly that there was people that abandoned their trash and left Moop out there, but there's also a number of people who have stepped up and taking hundreds of I heard of 100 bags of trash and many bikes that were abandoned, but as a community, it sounds like where there have been weaknesses, people showed up in strength. Good morning, Jamie. Good morning. Good morning. I love you. Happy Thursday. Happy first day for me post Burning Man, or Renegade Burn, or Black Rock Desert Community Experience. Carla's saying, how about them drone burn? So the drone burn, I've seen some drone art in the past, and I will say that I think it's been mind-blowing. It also has not, something about it, I don't like it. It's so precise, it's so inhuman, it's so like, I think also there's something about the precision of it that I see how it's being used in this artistic way, but it reminds me of how it could be used in nefarious ways. And it scares me a little bit. And so as I heard that there was going to be a drone thing at 9 o'clock and everyone was excited about it, I was like, not excited. And then it started. And if you've seen the videos, I'm not sure people are showing the whole video, but it started, and like the first, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, it felt like was organic. It was these swarming, and this very much felt like insects or birds, and I was even like, am I sitting in the wrong place? Like, are the drones not lined up? Because it looks like nothing. It looks like it's just chaos. And then they came together to form a man that then, burned, or, and that was chills. It was incredible. And the more that I thought about it and talked about people, I was like, it was perfect, because there were, fires are raging that part of the country. The sky, as you drive to and from Burning Man, there's times when there's like smoke everywhere, raging fires out of control. And so the fact that we were not burning things felt like it was the right thing to do. And to have a burn that was not contributing to smoke in the air, it felt like it couldn't have been more perfect. So, bravo to that expression. It was really something else. Angela, hello, I love you. Good to see you. Thank you, Joshua. Rachel, hello, good morning. Good to see you. Joshua saying that anarchy is highly ethical. No hierarchy. Yeah, right. I think that's what I thought was demonstrated here. Was like, this wasn't Mad Max, with like anarchy with like warlords. This is anarchy with like a bunch of people all agreeing that if we adhere to a system, even though there's no consequences to not do so, it makes for an experience that's beautiful. And, there was no social contract. There was no set agreement. There was just this ideals that you could or choose not to comply if you didn't want to, but people did. Good morning, Janet. Hello to you. Hello. Good to see you. I love you. Ian saying, so jealous, should have freaking gone. I hate to add to the FOMO. I tried to send, I had no internet connection when I was there. But after my first 24 hours, I was like, I feel like I should tell people they should come. Like, this is way better than I thought it was going to be. Way better than I thought it was going to be. So I don't want to rub it in, but I also am not going to pretend that it wasn't pretty special. It also was special for where we are now. It was heavy on socializing and partying, and weak on art. But I feel like because of where we are in the world and pandemic, that's what we needed more than anything else. Yeah. Good morning, Ben. I love and appreciate you too. Good morning. I love you. Happy Thursday. Kai! Oh, so good to see you. We were neighbors. I got to see you multiple times, and it was so fun to give away your stickers and Pink Ride. And yeah, it was great to see you. That was fantastic. I love you, Kai. All right. Well, thank you all for being a part of this beautiful love morning. I will probably be talking about the Renegade Burn experience for a while, maybe a little bit something more organized, but I've got a full RV down the street. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna clean that, and a lot of thoughts to sort through. I'm really appreciative of this gathering and seeing you in this morning. I will continue to do love mornings every day at 9 and try to reconnect and remind one another that we are our neighbors and we are the people out there in the world. And sometimes it just takes somebody to open up and smile and be kind and give each other the example and the permission. So thank you for being that and helping me to keep my heart open. Oh, I'm sorry we didn't get a hug, Christoph, but maybe soon. Maybe another magical time. So lots of love to you, Carla. Good luck to you and Chelsea. Hope Chelsea feels good soon. Thank you, Kristen. And thank you all. I feel like there's so much that I want to share and talk about, but I will be continuing doing that because it was a significant experience for me, and I'm still kind of, I keep remembering, oh right, that happened. Oh right, then that happened, but it was special. Yeah, we're special. I think that's what this. I feel like. I also, I'll end with one thing, one thought. Maybe I'll end. Who knows? A huge part of my dharma, my purpose, my joy has been making videos and educational things about the 10 principles in Burning Man, and it makes me feel so good when I meet people who are saying, "Oh, hey, I watched your videos before my first year and helped me, get up to speed," and I really appreciate that, and so a part of me, I'm feeling there's a pride. It's like, oh, look at how good so many people, like, we've done a great job of acculturating this community, and I feel some pride in that, being, a tiny part of that. I also feel some remorse that I didn't do a better job this year, and some regret. This year leading up to this burn, I was, when people asked me, "Oh, are you going to Burning Man?" I kept saying, "There is no Burning Man this year. There is no Burning Man this year. There is no Burning Man this year," and I feel like it was a missed opportunity that I should have said, "There is no Burning Man this year. However, if you are going to join the community of people that is seeking to have a 10 principles guided event, may I offer you some assistance in understanding the 10 principles? For example, do you know what gifting is?" And while I think that people did a good job of educating newbies, that I personally feel like I could have done much better. And considering how much joy I get from that, I regret not taking that opportunity to acculturate leading up to this event. That I felt, I don't know, I guess I felt like I didn't want to, I was scared to let people believe that this was going to be Burning Man. But clearly it did not affect the event. It would have been nice to be more helpful, but my help was not required, or at least not additional help. Maybe my old videos were helpful to some. Shiny, happy, pooping, hopeling hands. I love you, Jeanette. Thank you. Good morning. Happy Thursday and happy post-burn. Wonderful to see everybody. It'd be great to speak to students at schools. Angela, this, I have spoken occasionally in schools. I've also been invited to speak multiple times and then uninvited. I believe because teachers read my Wikipedia page and learned that I have sexuality as part of my history, and our culture is such that we don't believe that adults know how to control themselves. And so if you have a history with sex activism or pornography, that you will be unable to keep from being inappropriate in front of children. So I've been uninvited to speak at high schools multiple times. But I've spoken to private high schools, and even elementary schools too. Maybe again, maybe soon. Oh, Kai says the first YouTube channel you ever subscribed to. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, well, I will end with that and say thank you so much for this morning and being you. And let's try to recognize that, whether it's a trip to the desert or a love morning like this, that the real work is in being ambassadors, and that knowing that in community we strengthen ourselves and we practice and we open our hearts, and then we take that and we try to demonstrate that is a realistic, a beautiful, and an acceptable way to be in the world, and try to give other people permission to do the same. So, thank you. I love you. I'll see you soon. See you here every day at 9, and then all sorts of other good stuff too. And if you are listening to this and you're like, what? You have a YouTube channel? Yeah, Hug Nation YouTube channel. Silly? Feel free to reach out if you got comments or reflections and you think I got something wrong, or a question that you'd like to hear me address when I eventually do a more polished video about this. Or maybe I'll just edit this video. Who knows? Anarchy! I love you.